So the teacher that inspired me the most was my mother, Assumpta Concannon, who unfortunately lost her short illness, or her short battle with cancer recently. However, not only has her teaching had a huge impact on myself, but on the wider community of West Clare, where I'm from. She was a graduate from Mary I in the 80s and went on to be a teacher in the Moe School in Limerick, and then she went back to her home place in Moveen, County Clare. She was a teacher there for 36 years and principal for 18 out of those 36 years. I suppose she was there at 10 to 8 every morning, and you could just feel this palpable love for teaching and educating and inspiring students to learn, especially in fields such as An Gaeilge and music and drama. And again, I suppose maybe her biggest asset was that it was more than school, it was about community, and she was able to draw in various aspects of the community into school life, such as the GAA, quizzes, sports days, field trips to the beach, and the list is endless. It was funny, we were speaking about two months ago, a gang of past pupils and I, and in the group there was more teachers than otherwise, and everybody speaks about her in such a way that, I remember when Munthor, because everybody called her Munthor, when Munthor taught us, the capital cities of the world and the highest peaks in Ireland, and those are the things that they remembered. And because of her love for teaching and her love for Irish especially, a lot of them have gone on to become primary school teachers and secondary school teachers.
I had a truly inspiring and inspired teacher when I was 10 years of age in CBS in 2nd Street in Limerick. His name was Larry Fagan. The reason that he was so inspiring is that he was always truly professional, but he was also fully human at all times. And he flipped the way of learning for us at that time. So learning ceased to be passive, it was very active. Learning ceased to be direction, it was decision making. Learning ceased to be prescription, and it became choice. And we learned through projects, guided practice, and working together. We developed this wonderful, if you like, collective biography of learning. It was truly inspired and inspiring teaching. And some of us, including myself, were so inspired that we went on to teach as we had been taught, but also differently.
The primary school teacher who inspired me the most was Angela Gavin, what was then a 3-teacher small rural school. I had her when I was in 2nd and 3rd class, and she was the most incredibly warm teacher. And what I remember her most for was that she was well able to get everybody working at their own level. And I know as a teacher now myself how challenging that can be, particularly when you've got 2 grades in the one classroom. She was very understanding of anybody who had learning needs, and she would always support them to do their very best. And their best could be different to somebody else's best, and that was perfectly acceptable. She allowed us to work together, she allowed us to do projects, she allowed us to have some degree of choice in what we learnt. And she was always game for a laugh without ever losing control. In fact, I would say she was probably the teacher who had the best classroom management skills that I know. If she ever walked out of the classroom, nobody made a noise, which was really quite remarkable. She always tried to ensure that any learning we did, we could make sense of ourselves. So I remember in particular when she was teaching the time, she could nearly preempt the questions we had, and she would make sure that it was broken down into very, very small parts, and she'd give us exercises on that before moving on. And I remember in 2nd class when she asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. It was very easy to say I wanted to be a teacher, because ultimately I wanted to be just like her. And very often when I'm in a classroom, I still think about Angela, and I think about all that I learned and the things that she did that I continue to do in my practice. And I can see now that all the things that she did were really good practice, and they were very firmly based in evidence-based approaches. So I look back on her with great, great fondness, and I also contribute a lot of my own good teaching to having observed her.